How's the carrot cake?
Delicious.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Gosh.
I meant to ask Daniella what was all inside it, but you almost get like is
coconut.
It coconut? See, I was getting like a lemon vibe or something too. I don't know if it's tart or like a meringue or.
Pineapple? Was there pineapple in it?
She was saying pineapple. Yeah, Lily was saying pineapple. There's so much.
It might be. It's probably like crushed pineapple.
Raisins, cinnamon. Oh, this is insane. So carrot cake, it doesn't get enough love. It's not like a sexy pick. It's rarely featured. Some people are just grossed out when you say carrot. Like, I don't want veggie in my dessert. What's up with that? When I was asking you what your dessert was, you said the dessert really didn't matter. When I was pressing you, carrot cake was the choice. With you, what is it? Was it something growing up, like a comfort food, something family related, like your mom always made the best carrot cake around Thanksgiving? Or?
Absolutely. I grew up with carrot cake. My mom, I don't know that she ever really baked much growing up, but we had a friend who would bring one over to us once a month or so, and it was just the most amazing carrot cake ever. So
it was like a once a month
definitely
thing.
A familial kind of thing.
Did you come from like a big family growing up, a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have 2 older sisters. I'm the baby. So just the 3 of us. And
so you were the baby.
We were spaced out quite a bit, so 10 and 5 years. So I was an only child by the time I was 13. So.
Okay, let's say almost like a vacation baby or something, kind of popped up.
No, I think we were kind of planned.
Planned out?
Yeah.
It's cool to put that space in between though.
We kind of raised each other, or I guess they raised me.
Were you real close with your mom then?
Absolutely, yes. She taught me pretty much everything I know about food.
You do a lot of cooking together and baking.
Yeah.
That's fun to have like that close family bond, somebody like role model and inspiration.
She's known as the soup Nazi. She always cooks soup for everybody if somebody's sick or anything like that. She's the soup Nazi.
So it's almost something like relaxing for her, like with you and making these platters, it's almost like something to decompress. Like if you got a lot of busy stuff going on and a hectic day, a lot of errands to run. But
even when I am busy, like with platters, like needing to churn out some platters, doing it is still relaxing. So it's kind of fun.
Everybody needs something to decompress with to kind of get you away from all the stress and stuff like that. Also growing up, you have any other creative hobbies? Like did you love to write, like poetry, maybe draw, sing?
Yep, I did it all. I was very into writing, but my mom and I scrapbooked together. So we started doing that when I was like 8, and I've been doing it ever since. So we make cards and. You
still have a lot of your scrapbooks from when you were a kid?
Oh yeah,
that's cool. Do you have them here? Like, does she hold on to them for you?
I think I might have a couple like kind of hidden in boxes or something. But.
One thing with me, like moving around, like after I moved out of my house, I always tried to make sure I kept some of my momentums with me from mementos, I guess, from like high school and stuff. It's fun to have that. Then you bust it out from time to time, or anytime you're moving, you're like when you got to move the stuff, you sit down and look at that. Going through like scrapbooks and stuff's a lot of fun. You also said you were in choir growing up a lot. Would you say you're shy though?
Sometimes
shy. You have to like force yourself to get out of the bubble.
I think once I got out of that environment, I became shy. I guess if you didn't have to be in it, then I just kind of reverted back. I guess I was a very shy child. Yeah. Somehow I came out in between there, and then.
I wonder if being like the youngest daughter, I wonder. That has something to do with it. You think being the youngest, usually they're not as shy. They're the ones that want all the attention or get the attention because they're the baby. But I guess maybe your older sisters got a little more of the attention and you just kind of laid low.
No, I would hide behind my mom's knee. I would run to my bedroom anytime somebody came over. I was very, very shy as a kid.
Very shy.
Yeah, and then it kind of came out. I mean, I'm okay now.
Yeah.
I can socialize. It's fine.
You're more expressive. Well, also, too, I mean, I met you. We were in the service industry together. You were a bar manager or manager at Flying Saucer. So, I mean, in this industry, you have to be able to get out, talk to people, sell stuff.
Stand on a bar and announce somebody's plate. Absolutely. I had to grow out of that for sure.
I remember seeing you do that for sure. Yeah, get on a microphone, tell everybody, hey, attention, listen to me. Exactly. It's hard to have all those eyes turn and look at you.
Yes.
So what led you to the service industry then? Like going through high school, getting into college, what were your original plans?
I never really had a set idea of what I wanted to do, and I still don't, which is kind of a problem, I think, but it works out. It's fine. But after college in 2015, I graduated, and finding a job was so difficult at that time. And I think it still is to this day, even worse so now. But I ended up at Saucer, and I was there for 4.5 years.
That was your first job in the industry?
Was my first
you started off waitressing there. Mm-hmm. What's some of the important things you've learned from serving tables?
So much. And then managing as well, just how to kind of turn somebody's day around and turn yourself around, I guess, if no matter what kind of day you're having, and try to be better in the public eye, I guess. And definitely, like, from my managing time, I learned things about accounting and invoicing and keeping detailed records of everything that you're spending and keeping an eye on your food costs, keeping an eye on your
profit margin.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, and then getting hounded by your bosses. Don't give them straws unless they ask for it.
Exactly.
Lemons on the side. Get out of here, man. 3 cents a lemon. Chill out.
Absolutely.
But then from the manager side, you're like, hey, that 3 cents adds up over time.
And I just got to be, I was able to transfer that over to this. It's like, I'm trying to keep track of what I'm spending and see when I'll be able to profit off.
Yeah. Like even on a platter, every grape technically has a price. Yep. Every strawberry is factored in on a price when you're charging for the platter. So yeah, it's all about profit margin again. What I like about the service industry, I always feel like people 18, 19 years old, getting out of high school into college, you should be able to do it almost like a dual credit. You should be able for a semester to be a waitress or a waiter or whatever, bartender, and get credit for it because it teaches you how to multitask, teaches you how to socialize, how to read people. Oh, this person needs a little more attention, or this person just wants to be left the hell alone. And you learn these skills and you can use them no matter what you're doing after that. No matter what job field you get into, you can take lessons you learn from the service industry.
Okay.
So I always highly recommend it to people like, yo, don't, no matter what, go wait tables for 5 months before you start going to a restaurant and judging people or getting on or making your waitress feel bad because you don't know what they're going through, because it's a hard job.
I learned a lot more doing that than I think I've learned doing anything else. Although, I don't have much experience outside of the industry because I went from college to that. So.
What did you major in college?
Sociology.
Okay. And what would you want to do with that?
I wanted to do some form of counseling. I might still. I don't know what's going to happen next. So.
But you like help, so you kind of have a natural inclination to help other people feel better then?
Absolutely.
With counseling, like listening to them talk, trying to help them like be in a better mood, or that's cool. Same thing with doing these platters or getting back to the service industry again. You kind of got a personality trait of helping people. You want to make other people feel better. I think that's something else you learned from your mom then, being empathetic.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think my mother was very maternal. So.
Yeah. Very good about being nurturing. And
yes, very much so. And, if I don't end up doing counseling, I think right now, obviously is not a good time for it, but eventually, I would love to do catering or private event coordination and wedding planning, something like that, something in that kind of field. So.
I know this cake. I almost want to take another picture of it for Daniella and show her I accidentally butchered the cake.
Oh, no.
But it's delicious.
It's a lovely mess.
Yeah, it's good. It's so complex. There's a lot going on with all the layers to it. It's not some simple little carrot cake. She's really good at what she does.
It's delicious. I love it.
All right. So least favorite part of the industry?
I guess just the long hours, I'm a night owl anyways, but when you're there for 10-hour shifts, it's kind of draining on you, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't miss that part.
Don't miss the long hours.
I don't miss
it's a hectic schedule, and burnout's a real thing.
Oh, yes.
I have a pattern, apparently, because I can't deny it, but after usually about 4, 5, 6 months at a place, end up moving on. It's hard for me to stay at one bar longer than that. And it's a personal issue, obviously, but it's got to be from burnout.
It is.
Start seeing the same people.
If you're doing like the clopins or, you shut it down and then come back the next morning and that kind of stuff, that kind of wore on me, and I don't miss that part.
No. Yeah, you're with your coworkers more than your family a lot of the time. And yeah, you don't always want to do that. You don't always like your coworkers, How did the coronavirus situation, how did it affect your position in the industry? Like before the pandemic, did you ever consider yourself working outside of the industry?
Before, I don't know that I would have left or that I would have kind of ventured out on my own. We had to reduce the management team because we weren't making as much money. Bars in Texas had to shut down mid-June. So it just wasn't feasible, I guess, to have me there.
Did they do it over like seniority or something, essentially?
I'm not sure
on that.
But, the future of bars, I think right now is so uncertain. And
it's sad. Yeah. A lot of places are closing down and they'll never open back up again. And it's unnecessary. There should be ways around that. There should be some kind
of rent forgiveness or something like that. Right. That's what's killing people right now. I think.
Just in general, even when we're talking to apartments or housing now. Obviously, economy, whatever, bullshit. I understand that you can't pause it. But at the same time, situation like this, when it was nobody's fault through no fault of their own, you shouldn't be forced to get evicted or laid off. You know,
it's such a trickle down effect of it starts with the landlord. I mean, if they can't make the money, and then it just goes on and on and on, and everybody's been affected. So in so many different ways right now.
Yep. I always want to go like, who's above them? Like, who's the landlord? Got to pay their money too. Like with property taxes and the owner, like, why can't we focus on, hey, you guys relax for a little bit.
Hey, we were making you money, so can we keep making you money? Can you let us, that's kind of how I see it.
Well, my thing, even thinking of like a car payment. Let's say I got 3 years until I pay a car off. And now for these times right now where it's 4, 5, 6 months ongoing, let's just tack that on to the end of the lease, essentially. Like if somebody didn't pay their car for 4 months, okay, it's not like obviously you're not going to get the money. Instead of paying the car off in July 2023, you pay it off in November 2023, and it is what it is. But
I think a lot of other countries have gone that way of just extending things. It's like, okay, well, we're not going to pay it right now, but you'll pay it, eventually. And that's a lot smarter, I think, than shutting a business down for good or taking a car away or something like that.
Because it's something everybody's dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So getting into these platters here, and we say it because I know I've talked about this before off the air, and I'll still probably butcher it. Charcuterie. Okay.
I mean, who knows? I'm probably butchering it.
But you were dabbling in this. I guess dabble's the right word. Even before doing it full time. Sure. What got your interest? Where was the first time where you discovered this hobby?
I made a couple for my boyfriend and I really loved getting all the cheeses together, all the meats, and putting them on a nice spread like this, and just devouring it a few minutes later, and you get a little bit of every flavor in every bite, and it's all just so different. So I really enjoyed that. And I actually saw a picture of like a little bougie charcuterie snack plate, I guess, like a lunch size plate with a little mini wine bottle next to it. I saw it on Facebook and I was like, I would love to do that. Like, I would love to put those together and make those and sell those. And it just started with a simple little bubble of an idea. I posted that picture on Facebook and I said, this would be my dream side hustle. And it took one customer, one person, one friend of mine, Elvin, saying, I want that right now. I'm hungry now. Do it. I want to have it, kind of deal. And the next day I made the platter, and
ever since then,
it just kind of blew up from there. So.
Yeah. No, and Elvin was a coworker, right?
Yes.
I believe I used to work with his brother, Aaron Katie. Yeah.
So Ricky was my coworker.
Oh, Ricky. Oh, Elvin's the guy I worked with.
And Elvin was his brother, so he worked.
That's right. Yeah, we worked at local bar and local table. Yeah. And Katie.
So if it wasn't for him, I don't know that I would have started that in that way. So I definitely have a platter named after him for sure.
Oh, that's cool. So the platter you made for me in particular, we're calling it the podcast platter. Very fitting. Go over. You told me earlier when you kind of build it, you just kind of start and just go with your gut almost. Like you pick an item and go from there.
Yeah, so definitely. It's all about just setting it down and seeing where it goes. So you start with one item. For me, it's usually hummus. Once I set that hummus platter down, just building around it.
Build around it. Just kind of go with whatever inspiration you got in the
whatever
moment.
I feel, and just kind of digging in the fridge and see what's in there and how I can make it work.
But it feels, just cooking in general is an art,
Absolutely.
So you're going off of like, maybe you have like a color theme going or a different flavor theme going.
Every platter is different and everything is fully customizable. So
have you noticed trends lately though? Or have you noticed any trends at all with people who kind of see, this platter is more popular, or this item seems to be popular? Like hummus is always in it.
I think the Greek platter is the more popular one because you get a little bit of everything. You get some meats, you get that nice hummus and the fresh fruits and veggies on the side. So yeah. Also, people love the little mini stuffed peppers. Oh yes, those are my favorite.
Yeah, they're good. The chocolate covered cherry is good. You doing the chocolate yourself on these things?
Yeah, it's just melting some chocolate and just kind of swirling them around.
And that's cool. You get to work from home too.
Yes,
comfortable aspect.
Yes, especially right now.
That's where everything's trending now. Yes. Everybody wants to work from home. That's why I like doing this podcasting stuff. You can do it anywhere. Like I used to do it. I'd still do it in the garage. Or sometimes I'll go record. My grandma's closet is set up perfect. So I'll go record in there like it's a sound booth, You just make do with what you got.
Especially, I think the cool thing about charcuterie during this time is it's a treat. It's a getaway, I guess, like a retreat from your normal life. It's a fancy little gourmet platter. So if you're chilling at home anyways, you might as well have a nice little meal to go with it. So.
Yeah, it's got a cute date thing to it. I want to tell all the guys out there, if you want like a simple way to impress your girlfriend, like you're not breaking the bank necessarily to get one of these. And also it shows a lot of like intimate thought instead of just like, oh, we went to the store and got sandwiches or whatever.
Absolutely. I think, they sell charcuterie trays at like Kroger, HEB, but you can't customize it.
Yeah.
And you don't get all the nice little touches on it. So
it's where there's character that goes involved into this one when you're eating one. So say we're putting one together and I wanted to order one for my girlfriend and I could tell you certain things about her, not necessarily just flavor she likes, but maybe even personality traits. And maybe when you're putting it together on a whim, you're like, oh, that would go good.
Definitely. There are some that are more feminine. There are some that are more masculine. And then youthful, I guess. Some are more youthful than others.
Yeah. Some have maybe more of the old-timey traditional feel for it, for like if Ethel wants one or something.
Exactly.
So also besides like selling them to friends and family, you've done stuff with businesses. You were telling me earlier, like realtors.
You
said
yes, I had one. There's not been a whole lot of people that I haven't known personally that have ordered, but there was one, and she was kind of doing it for like a thank you gift for a referral, for getting a sale on another house or something. I don't know the details, but so she's probably the first person that I didn't know firsthand who had ordered a platter, and I really would like to expand that. And I've been blessed really with some of my friends who have just been sharing all my stuff and putting the word out there and getting those customers that I wouldn't normally have from my friend base. As awesome as they are, I want to, spread it out a little bit. Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing too, at least coming from my perspective on trying to like build these shows. I hate not like forcing stuff on people, but feeling like you're forcing it. Like doing a post every day, sometimes you feel like you can oversaturate it too much. Because I wonder if you've noticed, because I've noticed sometimes you'll do a post and like the first one of its kind will get 100 whatever likes.
Right.
When you post again and it's like, okay, now only 50 people this time. And then it's hard to like keep that following going.
I think it's just about exposure in general. I mean, if you see something enough times, you might want it. You're like, oh man, I keep seeing it. Oh, I'm hungry. Or I have this party coming up. Maybe you didn't have it a few days ago, but now you have it now. So the more you see it and the more you're out there, I think the better your chances are of getting some bait,
Yeah, getting the word out.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one extra person too. If you get one other person that likes it and spreads the word and one other person orders it, you're good. It's not like you're trying to be a millionaire off of it right away or anything, It's more about just the small network of people and letting that grow.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, it's like my one friend recommends it to another friend. That one friend recommends it to another. And then the more you're sharing it on Facebook or Instagram, I mean, it's crazy how social media has really changed how we do business.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of social media, but I understand it's like a necessary evil.
Necessary.
Yeah, it's all marketing and promotion. What would you say is your least favorite part about this whole process then?
I don't know that I have a least favorite part. I would say maybe just delivering, but even then I'm like just kind of jamming out in the car or whatever it might be. But I really enjoy every aspect of it. I enjoy selecting every item. I enjoy finding different plates and platters, trays. So I really get to put all of my interests in one basket with this.
Yeah, we're in like the Richmond, Katy area. How far does your delivery stuff expand?
I mostly do like Sugar Land and Richmond and Katy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you just went to San Antonio, right?
I did actually. So, I mean, if the interest is there, I do plan on going. Like if I had a small group of people in Dallas who wanted to order, I would probably go up to Dallas.
Sometimes you gotta, it's investing in yourself. Is what
I mean, if it's like $15 worth of gas, right? Like it doesn't cost much,
Yeah.
You can go out there and do it. So.
Well, obviously the end goal is to, maybe not the end goal, but you want to profit. But what I've found with this, if you're going to be passionate about it, you would be willing to do it for free. You're not necessarily looking for money.
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely given out plenty of platters and yeah.
Well, that's part of it. Again, investing in yourself, especially early on. It's like even with the show or like paying for a cake or willing to drive to where you're at, sometimes it's like investing in yourself is a big part of it.
For sure. Yeah, I've definitely driven a lot further than I probably should have for some things, but I'm like, no, I want these people to have it. I want to make this happen. I want to make it work. So I'm definitely willing to put in all the extra work necessary for it.
I think people, even if it's subconsciously, people appreciate that or realize like they'll return the favor somewhere down the line. Sure. If they see you go to that extra effort to make their life easier, somewhere down the line, they're going to want to return the favor. Because most of the time, people inherently are good. Like to assume so.
Yeah, I guess we could delve in a little further on that. But I think what I love the most about this business is that I get to incorporate all of my skills and all of my talents. I'm definitely a big cook. I love to cook all the time. I love to bake. So putting out some baked goods is fun for me, as well as my cards. My custom cards, I make them for my friends for different occasions. So I just sell them too. Oh, this is a birthday platter. Here's a birthday card to go with it kind of deal. So
that's cool.
or even my jewelry. I also make jewelry, and so I get to kind of throw that on the side if it's for like a date night or anniversary package or something like that. It's a one-stop shop, I guess.
People can find all this. You started a website. What's the website called?
It's moodyscharcuteries.com. So all one word.
Do you have experience before doing websites for anything else?
Not at all. I was actually referred to Squarespace. It's been really, really easy to use.
Easy.
And I was surprised that I was able to do it.
It's intimidating, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you see so many websites and you're like, oh, that's neat. How do they do it? And then I figured out how they do it. So
you would assume at first, like, you got to be some kind of like technical engineer or something crazy, like into coding or some kind of crazy computer stuff. But
they've made it so easy these days.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you earlier. I use WordPress, or was trying to learn how to use WordPress. I haven't messed with it in over a month at this point, but I'm just in there watching YouTube videos, trying to see how they do it. But it's learning a whole new language. That's the hardest part, is like trying to be comfortable doing something you're not good at.
Right.
I feel like people have an issue, or at least I deal with this, to where if I'm not good at something right away, I almost don't want to do it at all. But that's not a good way to learn stuff. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You know, I think people struggle with that a lot. They don't want to be uncomfortable.
I agree, absolutely. But I think what I've learned from this business is you have to get comfortable doing things that you wouldn't have done before, I guess. I've always been into this kind of entrepreneurial mindset, but there's no other way. I mean, you just have to make it work, and you're going to do what it takes to make it work. So me making an Instagram, even, I never wanted to have an Instagram. I was like, I don't see the point. I don't want to have an Instagram. I was like, okay, I'm going to make the Instagram. Yeah. So now I've got it pretty much down and still learning a little bit. I felt like such a grandma, just trying to figure it all out.
That's me, like hashtag and stuff.
Yes. I never understood the hashtags.
Because a lot of time I'll make a post and post it, and I can go edit it real quick.
Right.
Add some hashtags, dude, for whatever reason.
I have such a hard time. I don't know if it's just me, but when I'm reading hashtags, I'm like, wait, what does that mean? It's all jumbled together.
Some people ain't doing them right. There should never be I don't know the rules, but I assume you should not have a long ass hashtag. Right. It kills the point. Or people will be hashtagging stuff that, I don't know if they use it for the wrong reason. You're supposed to use it like a keyword, but people are using it for like sayings at the end, like a PS, da 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 da. Don't tell me you did da 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 da.
Exactly, and then I don't even try. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep scrolling through, you know.
That's why I say I love this part, sitting down and recording. The hardest part is everything else. I'd much rather just have a team. Like, please, you do my social media. Like, I will, maybe one day or something.
Maybe one day.
I like to sit here and record. All the extra stuff I could do without.
I guess that could be said about, charcuterie. Eventually, I would love to have kind of an empire built, and like all I do is build the platters, and other people can go and deliver them or whatever. But I think the long-term goal would definitely be to have a storefront, maybe in like 5 years or something.
Brick and mortar spot.
Yes. So you have like a little haven, I guess, for charcuterie, and you can buy bottles of wine, you can buy meats and cheeses, you can take a class on how to make your own board.
That would be cool.
It would be a great date night
option. Yeah. I'm always trying to find like nice, good, like different, original kind of ways to do something. What's a date night? We can always do this, like we go out and get margaritas, or we go get sushi, but sometimes you want to do different stuff. Like, hey, let's take a dance class together, or hey, let's go learn how to make some platters together. This is something my grandma would love too, man. I didn't even think about this. Matter of fact, I might have you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, do another one, and I'll compensate and all this stuff.
You know what? It's really cool. I figured out that I can make a platter in like 10 minutes.
Sweet.
If I really put my mind to it. I can do it. I just love cranking them out. I made one this morning for 8 people, and I made one last night also for 8 people. So it's just kind of fun to see what you can do with it and how much you can put together all on a little plate. So
trial by error. So you're kind of just learning with experience on how big to make certain platters.
Right.
Like you just said, you made a platter for 8 people. So this one sitting in front of us, there's 3 of us here right now.
I like to call this size the Friendship Platter. I think it's good for 2 to 3 people. So it's a nice size plate. You can get a lot of stuff on
Friendship Platter. I like that.
Platter.
That's good marketing.
It's something ideal that you would share with friends.
What other sizes we got working on then? Like, what do you got them named, I guess?
I have smaller little snack plates that I call nosh plates. So that's good for 1 person. Then you've got the Friendship Platter, which would be this size, about 12 inches. It's good for 2 to 3 people. And then you've got just a regular platter. And then that would be good for 2 to 4. Then an extra large platter. About 4 to 6, and then you've got like your big trays. Those would be good for 8 to 10 people.
I think you're talking about catering again after that point, catering events.
Absolutely. Whenever we can do that again.
Yeah, that'd be another thing to look into. Like businesses that are having whatever their meetings. I guess now everything's Zoom meeting though.
Yeah.
It kind of fucks it up. You want to just sit there and call places, like cold call almost. Hey, this is what I offer. Da, da, da. If you're having your next big event, let me know.
But we're not having big events. Everything's been transformed so much. But I think that's, adaptability is key for businesses right now. And if you can't adapt, you can't survive. So you've just got to figure out what you can do to make it work. And
you got business cards yet?
Working on it.
Yeah, it's me too. I thought about it, and then, you look into it, and I just never hit like the send button or the buy.
Well, I would really love to have some kind of personalized logo made, whether it be through a graphic designer friend or just if I make it myself. But I would like to have my logo first and then build the business card. So
that's the hardest part.
Kind of see what happens.
If you need a shoe guy to help promote your business, I got a guy, Charles. Can I do a custom shoe with whatever you like? You
got shoe?
Yeah, he does. Like custom shoes that you can. It's like. Yeah, you pay a price and he'll put your logo on it. You bring him whatever shoe you want. He can restore it. I'll have to show you his Instagram page.
Oh, I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, his name's Charles Cannon. If you see on my page, you'll see I share a lot of his stuff.
Oh, okay.
But it's a good way to market yourself. You get that. It's just, you have it and then you can promote your business. It's like a walking business
Definitely. Face masks would be a huge one.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because people are like, oh, what's that design or what's that logo? Oh, well, it's my business. Let me tell you about it.
It's a walking advertisement.
Yeah.
So eventually that'll be kind of the goal of, I would love to have a couple t-shirts that I could wear. Or,
merch.
Yes. Canvas tote bags, things like that. Face masks, I think, are prominent right now.
So what's going on your platter? You're making a platter for yourself. What are you making? What's on it?
Anything and everything. Anything that I've got that I'll eat it all, honestly.
You don't have like a specific, like, oh, this has got to be on there, or it's just what you have on hand then?
Pretty much just what I have on hand. And we had to get a second fridge, if you can see here. I have so much charcuterie supplies that I couldn't deal with having my own personal food and the charcuterie. I needed that extra space. So just whatever I have on hand. Definitely these little cream cheese, everything bagel bites. Those usually go on my platters.
Yeah, I like those.
Those are a staple.
It's got good bold flavor, creamy, good salt flavor to it. How's the boyfriend been supportive?
Absolutely. He eats a lot of platters these days.
He likes to be the test dummy.
I'm worried that he's going to get burnt out on the platters.
Are you worried that you might get burnt out on doing them?
I don't think I will.
The passion is there, though.
Yeah, the passion's there, and everything is different, so it's not like it's the same thing over and over again. I think if I was so restrictive in my mindset in creating them, that I might, but I'm really not. I'll try anything.
And then him being supportive, that has to help a lot.
Absolutely. If I didn't have him being like, oh, this looks great, or even taking pictures, he takes pictures for me a lot of the time. That's or cool. Even promoting to his friends or whatever it might be. He's been super supportive throughout this whole thing.
Oh yeah, because you got to have it. It's a team.
Yes.
You're learning that firsthand. I've learned the same thing, is you're not doing it on your own. Mm-hmm. People like to say, I did it with no help. Started from the bottom. It was all me. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, everybody had a little help.
Yeah. You have to have that good support team. I've got good friends, like I said, who've been sharing my posts and sharing the pictures and telling their friends, their family. And but no, he's been really a good support here at home. And I don't know where the future of this is going to go exactly, but I do have ideas. I do have hopes, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I got about a minute and a half left. What's your website?
It's www.moodyscharcuteries.com. That's all one word.
All one word. And that's where they can go and place orders online.
You can place an order online, but it's usually easier if you kind of reach out to me just so I make sure that I get everything correct. So you can email me at jaqmoody@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Jackie Moody, or Moody's Charcuteries, and Instagram is Moody's Charcuteries.
Nice. And that's soon enough, we get your own social media team and stuff like that.
Eventually.
Yeah, all this stuff will take off. It's all about getting that base, and you just build off of that base.
Definitely.
But I like the idea with doing realtors or like law offices, like my girlfriend was saying. Yeah, because people want to send thank you gifts. Mm-hmm. Or like, it would be good to, school is different now.
Yes.
But parents could give a teacher a gift. Mm-hmm. That's an excellent gift idea for
Teacher gifts are great. They have in-services and things like that. Mm-hmm. Teachers have been interested in getting something where everybody can kind of munch. So I think if there's an occasion or event or any kind of situation, there's a platter for it. Definitely. We have expectant parents. We've got weddings, engagements.
Yeah.
You can make a platter for anything.
I love this concept. I think it brings people together. It's a good conversation piece. It's something different. You don't see everybody doing it. So I think you got something good going on. It's been great talking to you. Thank you for...
Yes, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, of course. We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.